Oh, oh
What?
crap. Crap. I'm getting really low bit rate, upload bit rate.
Uh-oh.
All right, let's check. Okay, my download speed is totally fine. My upload speed's good too, actually. So this is probably just a temporary thing. Okay, I think we're good. AJS. Okay. I think we're just about set up now. Let's go ahead and get Tom Nook to start yapping. Good evening, JS. Welcome. Let me turn my TV around so I can see it. All right. So, how you doing tonight, Snacks?
Okay.
Hey, time to return to Epstein Island.
Wemby and Giannis going head-to-head with something else. Yeah, watching two bad teams try to out-bad each other was really impressive. Uh, Seriously, people really need to be talking about how the Bucks are massively underperforming between a combination of Damian Lillard is a complete non-factor on defense, and they are severely missing Budenholzer as their coach, and they never should have fired him.
Or Booty.
It was a knee-jerk reaction to losing to an eighth seed, and then every consecutive series Miami won. That decision just got worse and worse.
So, more Epstein documents dropped earlier today, but I don't think there was anything shocking in it.
Right. Oh, the really shocking thing is that as more of this stuff comes out, instead of the FBI going after any of these high-profile perverts who are part of a child sex trafficking ring, instead they're going after Amish vegetable farmers.
Wait, why?
Because they can't allow Amish vegetable farmers to be minding their own business and try to be growing food outside of the ever watchful gaze of the Department of Agriculture.
That's an interesting one. Should the FBI be disbanded?
Yes.
Imagine an NBA full of guys like that in 15 years. It'd be like the opposite of John Boyce's The Death of Basketball series.
Well, not necessarily the opposite, because the players themselves would still be awful. They're just 8 feet tall. Yeah, that Death Basketball series, when you think about it now, it's kind of crazy. If you had Anthony Bennett, who was like trying to hold on and be a genuine basketball player, dominating a league filled with midgets, but playing basketball against a bunch of midgets, as we know now, is Stephen Hawking's sexual fantasy.
We have a new visitor on the island, Celeste.
I thought that was really funny, though, reading that article talking about how ever since the Spurs moved Wembanyama to center, look at how dominating he's been. Look at his numbers. It's like they haven't won a game since they moved him to center. What the?
Wait, where were they playing him before?
Power forward.
That's weird as hell. I would not have expected that.
Yeah, guy's 7.5 feet tall. Not playing him at center from the start.
Weird one. I don't know how to explain that one.
What was really wild is how often the guy ends up getting out rebounded, even at his height.
Yeah, I saw the Jokic game winner a little bit ago. By the way, I did see that one.
That was tremendous. What a beauty.
Just like they drew it up. Guys, I don't know what the frame rate looks like on stream right now, but I think it looks okay in the actual stream. For some reason, my OBS is showing it look kind of crappy, but I think we're okay for now. I don't know. I'm a little bit confused as to what's going on tonight. My KBPS is still low, but it's not so low that it can't stream. But I am wondering if it's affecting performance in any way.
Well, the stream looks fine to me. Maybe other people could be having an issue. Because I remember before when this incident cropped up, I was still getting 720p, but other people are like, yeah, it's like 144p for me. I'm like, wait, watching on your phone? Like, what the fuck? Anyway. Yeah, I gotta tell you, I'm pretty tired of, people constantly, unceasingly talking about Wembanyama. Like he's fucking amazing, and I'm like, you know what's really interesting is that other guys throughout the league, when they've been rookies, and they actually transformed their team started to win games, even when they were rookies. Detroit's been playing so much better recently, leading up to them, breaking their losing streak. We are really close to the Pistons having more wins than the Spurs, but no one wants to talk about the Spurs being an historically bad team.
Hey,
They
Mad
just want
Wolf,
to talk about Wembanyama's numbers.
Hey, Mad Wolf, welcome to the Kick stream. Welcome. Good to see you on Kick.
Yeah, JS, that's like that almost feels unfair because LeBron maybe was one of the best rookies ever in terms of the impact and performance he had in his rookie year. But it's completely valid because tons of other fucking guys, especially people taken first overall, were more impactful than Wembanyama was. Kyrie's rookie season, he was a bigger deal. Fucking Doncic's rookie season, he wasn't taken first overall, and it's considered one of the biggest misses in recent memory. Fucking Giannis, it took him a while to really come into the league in terms of being who he ended up being. That's how he won Most Improved Player. But even in his rookie year, he was more impactful than Wembanyama was. No, they're the second worst. They only have 2 more wins than the Pistons, and everyone's talking about the Pistons are potentially the worst team in history. This Spurs team could easily be like in the bottom 5 worst ever. But that's not getting noticed because you have massive amounts of hype from Wembanyama that instead of him disappointing, no one wants to talk about it, they just keep trying to push this shit. And the Pistons running a smoke screen because, you know, they might be the worst ever, so 5th worst ever doesn't get noticed as much.
Okay, so...
Yeah, exactly, JS. Like, he's one of the tallest players in the history of the NBA, and he rebounds like shit. Like, he didn't even have double-digit rebounds tonight. Giannis picked up 14. Like, he's almost 8 feet tall. Why is it hard for him to grab a fucking rebound?
Okay, so you probably heard of this recent story, but I just DM'd you something. I'll lead with that, and then once you ask for further context, which you inevitably will, I'll fill you in.
That is the actual name?
Yes. And he just got recruited to West Virginia, so he's going to be playing college football this year. So some announcer is going to get fucked.
Yes! It's happening. Well, that's the funny thing, is that Kevin Durant was rail thin too. He ended up putting on a little bit of weight eventually. But, like, they used to call him the Slim Reaper. If Wembanyama had the offensive talent that Kevin Durant had, this wouldn't be as big of a concern. But the guy got drafted specifically to be a stretch big, because like, look at him, he's almost 8 feet tall, and he has an incredible jump shot. That's what they saw over in Europe. They bring him here, like tonight he shot 2 for 8 from 3. In a game his team loses by 4, when he has 5 turnovers and 5 fouls, plus he misses 6 of the 8 threes that he took. Him playing like shit cost his team the win. So if he played better, you know, if he played like rookie Kevin Durant, they'd have won this game.
One thing that is worth pointing out, like, Dirk shot like shit from 3 his rookie year too, and he figured it out, so it's not out of the question.
Well, I know, but it bugs the crap out of me when Wembanyama keeps getting talked about so much, and that's the excuse people make is he'll figure it out. It's like, well, what about the guy who already figured it out? Chet Holmgren's damn near 50, 40, 90 in his rookie year. Why aren't we talking about him?
Rusty Weed, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream, good sir. Appreciate that. Rusty Weed. That's a good name. Anyway.
Oh my god, this fucking tagline. Honestly, we just want to know how to say his damn name. You know how to say it. You already know how to say it. My god, I wish I was a fucking announcer.
And he's white, too, is the best part.
What I would do just to fuck with everybody is I would pronounce it with the hard R, which is obviously not his name. And I would pronounce it the way the Germans pronounce words that start with a K and N, where they pronounce both the K and the N. Like German to say knee is das Knie.
you know, this is actually funny. About a week or two ago, I posted a video where it's a video you probably didn't watch, Snacks, because if you had seen it, you definitely would have told me about it. But there was a player that I was referencing, and his name is, hold on, I don't want to say it on stream, so I said that name, but it sounded like I said the thing, so I bleeped it out in the video. Just to avoid any potential problems whatsoever.
What I think you should do, and I'm being genuine when I say this, anytime you run into a situation like that, like let's say that for whatever reason, this kid we're talking about here, who got recruited by West Virginia, let's just say the best case scenario happens, he gets drafted by the Seahawks. Anytime anyone's name is similar to this, just call them Najigba. Then, you know, you could have like your editor for your video or whatever could always like pop up like a little tagline at the bottom. Every time you say it, it'll just say at the bottom, if you know, you know.
Yeah. Okay. Let me try to find it here real quick, since, yeah, you probably didn't, okay, it's not this one. Yeah. So, yeah, this video go to about 8 minutes, 16 seconds.
The fucking comment. No. At 8:16, I said Blank's name in a way that sounded a little bit like a...
I mean, I realized it right after I said it, and I didn't feel like reshooting the video. And since I'm clearly trying to say a name, I don't think I'd actually get in trouble, but there might be some automated system out there that, like, hears that word and flags your video or something.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised. And, you know, you've said, you and many other people have said Najigba's name enough times to where it's obviously not that case. So I would just say that and be like, I know that's not actually his name, but I don't want to get demonetized. Even better, you could put like a disclaimer in every video where you have to do that and say, I know that's not his name, but I don't want to get demonetized. Suffice it to say, though, I say his name in my private life many times.
Yeah.
Oh, God. This is fantastic. I fucking hope that happens now. I genuinely hope that this kid balls out and gets drafted into the NFL.
What would Roger Goodell say when he announces the pick?
I think he would get confused and he would accidentally say the gamer word. Like, no, you don't understand. I thought his name was sort of like that one meme, okay, boomer? Oh, God.
Gamer word.
Spicy. No, I fucking love these comments. People are like, 8:15 scared the shit out of me.
I think somebody commented, like, but people say it in rap songs all the time, right?
Oh, that's fantastic. Did he accidentally say the N-word and bleep it? There was nothing accidental about it.
MB is the first stickman to play professional basketball. Not true. There have been other stickmen.
That's why I brought up Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he's the goated stick man in NBA history.
Probably.
But even he put on more muscle.
I think he was literally unable to do a single bench press at the NBA Combine.
I'm gonna look it up. Yes, that's right. Kevin Durant failed to rep 185 pounds on the bench press even once at the 2007 Combine. A list of others who could not do the bench press at the Combine: Jamal Crawford, Jamario Moon, Anthony Grundy, Tito Maddox, Luke Ridnour, TJ Ford, Sasha Vujacic, Martinez, Andrea Kavicius. Holy fuck. I'm not sure how to pronounce that name just because of how long it is. Oh, Mona Ellis couldn't do a bench press either. You know, Mona Ellie have it all except for the ability to bench. Brandon Rush, Rudy Fernandez, Austin Day, Tyshawn Taylor, Will Barton, Tony Roten, Norvell Pell, Cameron Payne, Hamidou Diallo, Melvin Frazier, Costas Antetokounmpo, Kamori Pond, Lewis King, and Jalen McDonald is the most recent one. So yeah, vast majority of those guys mentioned are point guards. What it's worth, though, like I said, is KD had gotten bigger and stronger, put more muscle on. He now benches over 300.
Are they currently in the playoff race, Austin, or is this just like a pointless last gasp at relevancy? Did you like the giant ass Easton stick video?
Oh yeah, that was pretty insane.
Santi, are you in the chat right now by any chance? Oh boy. I mean, it's alright, like... Martinez Andrios Kavecius.
I almost want to say it's Kavicious. Andrews Kavicious. That would be absolutely nuts.
Oh, so earlier today, I finally saw the Peepsy sausage video.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
That was the most demented one yet. I mean, goddamn.
Yeah.
That was disgusting and depressing, man.
The most disgusting thing he ever did was use the recipe for lemon cake, but instead of lemons, he did mustard.
Yeah.
And any wet ingredient was just replaced with mustard. It was just a giant mustard cake. And he was all like, wow, this is actually much worse than I thought it would be. I'm like, yeah, no shit. So like, good God.
I wonder if he actually eats them or if he just pretends to eat them.
That's why he usually has a spit take. You could see the fucking shit just dribbling out of his mouth.
I like
Oh,
when he
God.
I like when he drank the Peepsy, he immediately spit it all out and was like, "Not bad."
Yeah.
It's like breath of pig.
Exactly.
Kramer wants to call himself Otto von Hitler.
And thank you for reminding me. I almost forgot to subscribe to Twitter so that I can start fucking around with Grok stories. Yay!
It is pretty pissed. Yeah, I remember after we beat Oregon the second time, there were a lot of Oregon fans on Twitter throwing a fit because it's like, I'm so sick of losing to this team full of fucking 26-year-olds. Like, it's not that big of a difference between your team and their team, dude. They're all college kids.
Right. Now, I was actually reading this very insightful comment was talking about how a lot of offenses are struggling this year, and defense in the NFL is just looking so much better. And it's like, well, obviously the defenses are good, and coaches are learning, teams are learning how to handle offenses better. But another huge thing is that there's not really a lot of finesse and technique because the pass to the NFL these days, and it's not just the NFL, it's the pass to every major sport, the actual skill, the big time. You get there younger and younger these days. So guys who need to learn the technique and learn concepts and learn the actual X's and O's, they're not being given enough time to cook. They get taken out of the oven way too soon because they're just athletic freaks.
Yeah, that's why NIL
It's like,
is a game
back.
changer.
Right, and that's, bringing it back to talking about this whole thing with college football, is that back in the day, a lot of the really competitive teams used to have rosters that were filled with redshirted fifth-year seniors. And there wasn't anything wrong with that because, again, it was, like you said, they're still college kids. But with the ways that things have gone nowadays, you've got guys, so many teams, they're relying on freshmen and sophomores who are just absolute athletic freaks, but they're fucking teenagers still. So, like JS said, like freaking out like you're talking about a roster full of 35-year-olds or some shit. Like, dude, calm the fuck down, It's not anybody else's fault but your own that you decided to rely on 18 and 19-year-olds because they can run a damn near an under 4-second 40-yard. But, oh god, my fucking neck is in so much pain. But, they just haven't had as much experience actually reading playbooks, understanding schemes, or anything like that. There just hasn't been enough time for them. And you gotta give them time. However, I think everyone should be expecting Michigan to lose. Because if there's any one thing we can rely on in this world, it's that Broadbaw's gonna choke.
This is probably his final game in college football before going back to the NFL.
Right.
This is his last chance.
It's literally the perfect setup for him to face plant one last time.
A 0 out of 5.
Disqualified. Ooh, not cool. Oh man. A number of years ago, I was watching these videos of this guy that lived in China, and he had bro. Fuck off. Ah, my bank account.
When in doubt, ibuprofen it out.
No, I'm looking at my bank account right now. Earlier today, my refund had gone through, but now it was totally validated and everything. Steam support sent me an email, your purchase has been refunded and all this. Earlier today, my refund went through, but my bank account is doing a really weird thing because it was so soon after the payment had been made, it was on hold. Because there's anytime I use my card to pay for anything, there's a 3-day hold. As everything processes, which is fine. But the refund was made before the 3-day hold had cleared. So even though I got my refund, the hold goes through, so finally the hold disappears, so it just subtracts the cost, but then it's, I guess, has to recalculate that the refund had gone through. If it's still fucked up like this when I wake up tomorrow morning, then I'll go to my bank and be like, hey, what the hell?
Yeah, recently my bank tried to charge me a $20 maintenance fee that I had never seen before. So I went to the bank and asked them about it, and they pretty much immediately just said, oh, we don't know why that's there, we'll just waive it off. So I wonder if they just sneak it in there hoping that some people don't notice it or don't decide to do it.
Yeah. That's exactly correct. I don't know who you bank with, but that's a lot of banks do extremely predatory things like that because of exactly like you said. If they never contest it, it's free money. But if they come up and contest it, then all the bank has to do is say, "Oh, oops, I don't know how that happened. We'll just fix it for you." Not everyone's gonna do that. So by doing this incredibly predatory and illegal thing, they just make free money. But you can't prove that what they're doing is a crime because they just say, "Oh, oops, I don't know how that got there. Whoopsie daisy, we'll fix it for you." Because, you know, it's only legally considered stealing if you didn't want them to take it and you refused to give it to them. Or some shit. Absolutely disgraceful behavior.
Probably Big Country. That team had so many injuries by the end of the year, it was understandable they fell apart. This team doesn't have that many injuries except for maybe the offensive line. The offensive line's been beat up, but other than that, the team shouldn't be like this. Alright. Oh god, these things are expensive. This guy is upselling the shit out of me, man. I can't buy any of that. You scumbag.
Oh my god. You're gonna have to go upside his head.
You didn't see my coupon, Mr. Nook. Everything is free or I fucking kill you one day only.
I'm really gonna enjoy robbing you, mister.
Okay, Isabel, I think she's new to the island.
Oh, hey, I'd rather just ask you because you'd know much better than... Or you'd be able to explain it faster than if I just, like, tried looking it up and all that shit. What needs to happen this week for the Seahawks to make the playoffs?
Seahawks need to win, Bears need to win.
And that's it?
Yes.
Okay. Well, got a fair chance then. Wait, who are the Bears playing?
Packers. Bears are actually playing really well lately. They've won 5 of 7, and one of their losses was to the Lions where they had a 2-touchdown lead with 3 minutes left and blew it. And then you had that one Browns game where they hit the Hail Mary and the dude dropped it to lose the game.
Yeah, that was great.
Be right back.
Yep.
1 second.
Neat.
Okay, we are back. Welcome back, everybody. There was a report that the Utah Jazz made some rabbis put down their signs that said "I'm a Jew and I'm proud" because Kyrie complained.
Oh my fucking god, if that's true, I'm buying a Kyrie jersey as soon as possible. Fucking lovely.
Okay, Kyrie has denied the claim. Okay. The link to the stories in the replies. Oh, really, Big Country? Yeah, JS, that's what I say sometimes. People don't understand humor. People don't understand how comedy works. Like, I remember 2 years ago, actually 3 years ago, I was on stream with Snacks, and there was a Seahawks player who had just been arrested for beating the shit out of his wife. And while doing some research on it, we found out that he had done it because they were doing a slave master roleplay fantasy, and he told her to bow to him, and she refused, so he beat the shit out of her. And when I told Snacks that, he started laughing his ass off, and people in chat were getting angry, and I'm like, guys, he's not laughing that a woman got the shit beat out of her. He's laughing because this fucking idiot thought that was worth ruining his life over.
Exactly. The fucking... Now his career completely fucking ruined. He's going to jail forever.
For no reason. For the dumbest reason imaginable.
My god. Exactly.
That's the funny part. One of the Twitter accounts I follow did post a picture of Stephen Hawking on Epstein Island. So I guess
Nice.
there is at least some legitimacy to it.
Well, it's hard to say, because ever since the list came out, the internet has been fucking flooded with AI-generated pictures of people on Epstein Island or with Epstein or any number of other shit. And they're like, why wasn't this guy on the list? Or, you know, oh, look, there's proof, and all this other kind of shit. It's like, oh my god. It's really kind of underscoring a big of a problem that's going to be going on in the future. But I definitely think that's the way that the people who are guilty are going to be trying to defend themselves. You know, like, there's no doubt in my mind that somebody like Kevin Spacey, or obviously the Clintons, are paying to have this done to just flood the internet with this kind of bullshit. So you'd be like, you know, anytime anyone comes at them with this kind of thing, they could just say, well, it's fake, it was AI-generated stuff, or, you know, whatever. Or the ever popular, yeah, you know, I might have been there, but, you know, I didn't diddle any kids, or whatever. They're just hoping to flood people's senses with enough noise to where they can pretend, hey, you know, that was just more noise.
JS, are you talking about John Moffat?
Catching up on what JS said in chat, definitely. Yeah, no one's laughing at the traffic's children. That's like, obviously the Stephen Hawking thing is funny because of the mental image of this guy who was regarded as, you know, the next Einstein, and he was the smartest person of his era and all this kind of shit. You know, oh, Stephen Hawking, he's such an insane genius. And all this other kind of crap, you know, held up as the sacred cow for all sorts of fucking smug people all over the world. Oh, he's so smart. And what's he doing in his fucking wheelchair? Diddling kids, you know? So yeah, the thought of him paying money to watch naked midgets needing a step stool so they can write 1 + 1 = 2 on a chalkboard is utterly fucking hysterical. Man.
I mean, that's not really a meme, Big Country, that's literally true.
Yeah, I really don't think that Leo's diddling kids, because he doesn't have any fucking problem getting any kind of woman that he wants. Because, like, Tom Hanks has never been considered, like, a womanizer or a ladies' man or any sort of shit like that. The accusation of him diddling kids, it becomes a lot more believable. But accusing Leo of diddling kids is a lot like accusing, like, Brad Pitt or George Clooney of doing it. No one's ever made that accusation, because it's like, well, they considered the hottest dudes in Hollywood. What they have no problem getting any broad ever. Why would they be diddling kids? Good grief. No, it's not that he likes manipulatable women. It's that once a woman hits a certain age, she's a hell of a lot more likely to want to cash out. Leo has just seen way too many of the other guys in Hollywood getting fucking reamed. Like, if Brad Pitt of all fucking people couldn't avoid having his life ruined by a divorce, what fucking possible chance do any of the rest of us have? Brad Pitt couldn't do it. So I think Leo's like, okay, you know, once I hit the expiration date on this one, and then she starts wanting kids, she starts wanting marriage, she starts wanting all these other things that have ruined a hell of a lot better guys than me, I'm out of here. I completely understand that thought process. And saying that it has to do with him wanting young girls because he's a pedophile, or him wanting easy to manipulate girls because he's a sick bastard, all that shit's just ways that people try to insult him. Which mostly comes from old women who are angry that, you know, Leo wouldn't look twice at him, but he's just trying to avoid getting fucking ruined the same way that so many other guys have. And I can't fault him for that. I mean, think about Johnny Depp, who was another Hollywood heartthrob, and what he went through with Amber Heard. Listening to the case that they had going on, listen to all the horrendous shit that Amber Heard did to Johnny Depp. Can you blame Leo for one fucking second that he didn't want to go through that? If everything on the island was consensual, it's a different story. Problem being, the island also included diddling kids, and kids don't have the ability to consent.
Right. What if the child consents, though?
Exactly. I mean, if it was an eyes wide shut party where, you know, everybody's like at least 30, and they're just having really weird, you know, Moloch themed sex orgies while, you know, some priest dressed like a yak is chanting the whole time, that's fucking weird. But I mean, okay, whatever, you know, you really want to go to hell that badly, go for it. You can count me out, but whatever. But diddling kids, that's a big no-no.
You know, I was at the gym this morning, and there were a couple of old guys talking while working out on one of the machines. And one of them was recommending the movie Sound of Freedom to the other.
Nice.
Just happened to overhear it.
Yeah, the other day I was at the grocery store, and I was just listening to some people talking. And they were talking about the Israel-Palestine situation. This younger girl said, you know, I never thought I'd say this, but I think Mel Gibson was right. And I was like... You bet he was, darling. You'd love to see it.
He immediately got tossed out of the store.
Well, you know, to be fair, it was a kosher store in Little Tel Aviv.
Exactly.
Said, all right, miss, just put down the latkes and step away.
You know, JS, actually, speaking of Christmas and Kanye has a Christmas song that's actually pretty good. I was impressed. I heard it the other day for the first time.
I don't remember which one that is. Is it the one about gold diggers?
Yeah. Ask a stupid question, get a stupid answer.
Excellent.
Oh my god, did The Simpsons predict Trump? Yes, they did.
Exactly.
Yeah, Six Flags. If you were on the internet this morning, there was a school shooting that was making the rounds and being made very public until they found out who the shooter was, and now you're not hearing so much about it.
Yeah.
I was here when the dark language was written.
Exactly. Makes sense.
I did know a kid. I wasn't really friends with him or anything. I didn't know him that well. But I did know a kid who brought a grenade to school one time.
Nice. I can see why I said you knew him.
Yeah, he was on a message board that I frequented. Remember, he would make topics about his attempts to, like, be allowed to go back to school. Like, he had been indefinitely suspended. He was trying to figure out a way.
Yeah.
He was, like, writing letters and stuff, trying to get let back in. Okay, is Aubrey Drake? I'm not, when you say Aubrey, Big Country, you mean Drake, right? I'm not super up on this lingo stuff. No, Santi, this was a different board.
Yes, Santi, it was Reggie Bush.
Reggie Bush apparently was actually mentally challenged, like, in real life.
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever told you this, but he worked as a Walmart greeter because that's literally all he could do.
Right, I remember that. I remember everybody felt bad about making fun of him for all that time. They were like, oh my god, he actually was retarded. Like, actually. Oh man. But it was still fun though. Fuck me. Remembered. Just so many different instances of just people being fucking wild over there. Good times.
Yeah, Big Country, you talking about Drake just reminded me of the Caleb Hammer episode with the woman who's drowning in debt, but she spent like $1,000 to see a Drake concert. And she was like trying to justify it. I think I showed Snacks the clip.
Yeah.
She spent like $100 to get her makeup done, and she's like, no, he saw me, we made eye contact. And he's like, are you fucking kidding me?
It was at that moment that Caleb had really begun to understand. He was like, wait a minute, women have them too. The absolute fucking delusional person who thinks that a celebrity is in love with them.
Yeah, that was a fucking wild episode. She had a 2-year-old kid that she had on a pescatarian diet and was spending $1,200 a month on his food because it was all organic from Whole Foods. Like, you know when you're not watching, that kid's probably eating dirt, right?
Exactly. Do it to themselves, man. It's tragic.
A lot of people in the comments of that video were like, I could immediately tell that this woman was from Atlanta. And then a few minutes into the video, when she said she's from Atlanta, I was like, yeah. Because I guess that's a very Atlanta mindset, to try to act rich when you're poor. And to overextend the fuck out of yourself trying to appear rich. Like, who the fuck needs to buy all their groceries from Whole Foods?
Well, it's not just Atlanta. It's it's a pretty common cultural concept within the African American community.
Yeah.
Atlanta's just a place where not only are there a ton of black people, but there's also a ton of black people who are like much closer to middle class than a place like Detroit.
And like near the end of the episode, he's like trying to tell her that she can't shop at Whole Foods anymore. She needs to shop at like H-E-B or Walmart or Aldi's. And she's like, do those places have like fresh salmon or do they have the frozen salmon? It's like, you stupid motherfucker. All of them freeze their salmon.
Yeah.
Because it's coming in from fucking Alaska.
Right.
They all freeze their fucking salmon. Just some places unfreeze it before they put it out so it doesn't look frozen.
Yeah. Like, what do you think? When it says it was wild caught, it was wild caught this fucking morning. You live in Atlanta, they just caught this shit down at the river.
Everything gets flash frozen. I think freezing it kills parasites on it too, so it's actually kind of good to freeze it at some point anyway.
Depends on the parasite, plus the kind of meat that it is and all sorts of other stuff. But you're right that they do various treatments to make sure that things are fine before beginning the transportation process. That's a really good, easy way to kill your business, is to be responsible for an outbreak of some kind of sickness. Because you were mishandling your food. It's just hard not to feel bad for people like that a lot of the time. You know, where you see that they're struggling and they really shouldn't be, and then, you know, you take the deeper dive in there and you're like, you actually have so many mental problems and I don't think they're ever going to get fixed. I just feel bad for you.
Yeah, like this woman was living with her boyfriend. She also had a kid with the boyfriend, so I find it interesting that they hadn't tied the knot yet, but maybe he's like afraid to because he sees how shitty she is with money.
Not only that, but she's probably also thinking not to tie the knot either, because she's got to keep her options open for when Drake decides to rescue her.
Exactly.
Good grief.
Is this like a palate cleanser video game for you? Yeah, that's not a bad way of putting it. It's just a very chill, relaxing game that isn't remotely competitive. There's no urgency. You just kind of mess around. You can have conversations while you're playing it. It's a perfect chill game. I will say this. I like to beat games. I like games that have an ending. So in the cases of games like this, you kind of have to make up your own ending. Kind of like Fishing Planet. Fishing Planet is a game that doesn't really have an ending. My video quality is really poor. You're the first person who said anything. My
Looks
KBPS is low, but it hasn't affected anyone.
What setting are you watching the stream at?
He says he put it to max.
Maybe he's the only guy watching on max. So I put my settings to 720. Specifically so that my browser's not eating a shitload of my memory.
Huh. Weird. I am getting a low bitrate tonight, but it's not saying, like, it's causing problems. So it's very possible that it's maybe going to cause problems for the occasional person. But anyway, her and her boyfriend combined made like $130,000 a year. Like that should, you should be able to make that work pretty easy.
Yeah, you shouldn't really be struggling at that point. Wasn't there someone from current events that was actually arrested though? Well, there was somebody from the NFL board that was arrested.
Yeah.
Remember that? Oh man. Arrested for what though becomes the question, because there's all kinds of shit that people get arrested for, man.
Yeah. Santi, didn't you get arrested one time? I remember you telling me that once.
Feel fairly confident that a number of the guys that we knew from the NVAB had, like, at least a couple of them had a DUI once or twice. So, you know, obviously none of that's as bad as fucking Eshawn Howard, but,
Great. Remember you remember Board 8, right, Snacks? Board 8?
sounds familiar.
That was the contest board for the poll of the day, and it kind of became a social board eventually, right?
Yeah.
I remember there's this one guy who made a topic, and I don't know why I remember this topic, because it wasn't that big of a topic in the grand scheme of things, but I'll always remember it. This guy made a topic panicking because he thought he had gotten his girlfriend pregnant by accident. And he was like, what the fuck do I do? What the fuck do I do? I really just want to tell her to get an abortion. And like later in the topic, he says, okay, guys, I have good news. I actually didn't get her pregnant. But when I asked her if she would be willing to get an abortion, she got really mad at me and broke up with me. And I don't know why that stuck out with me, but it did.
Well, that's completely valid, you know? Like, a lot of people don't have these conversations in their relationships, and it's fucking wild to me, because it's like, what the hell is the point of a man and a woman getting together, you know? You should discuss what to do if pregnant. You know, it's not a foreign concept. Because not every single contraceptive method is ever going to work 100% of the time. And, okay, if I get pregnant, what do we do? Well, I'd like you to get an abortion. Oh, I don't believe in abortion. If I get pregnant, I'm going to keep the baby. Okay, what did you learn here? You don't want to have sex with this woman, because if she gets pregnant, she'll keep the kid, and you don't want to have the kid. So just don't have sex with the woman. Way too fucking much, apparently, for some guys to actually get that thought process through their head. Oh man, but I wanna fuck. You can't tell me not to baby. It's like, and then that's how you end up with like 8 different fucking baby mamas and paying the entirety of your paycheck and child support every single year for the rest of your life.
JS asks, what was the craziest thing from your guys' forum days? Oh, that's easily Eshawn Howard. Basically, he was a guy who posted on the boards. We kind of knew him pretty well. Not super well, but he posted a decent amount, normal guy. And then one day he showed up on an episode of To Catch a Predator. I think he was crying or something when they caught him or something.
I mean, I would be too if that was me. But yeah, he was crying. They tackled him and he was crying and he's like, "Stop, you're hurting me." And it's all like, you literally went there to try to bang a 12-year-old, dude. What the fuck? Oh, Eshawn. It's horrendous. Second place is, like Sandy said, I almost pulled this off once. This is like my finest hour. The reason I hate Reddit more than anything else. About 12 years ago, way back when Twitch was really not popular yet, and was still just on TV, I think. One day, Gordon Hayward was streaming League of Legends, because apparently he's a big League of Legends player. And he's streamed League of Legends a few times since then, but he learned his lesson after this and turned the chat off, or at the very least he wasn't interacting with chat at all. But nobody fucking noticed that it was Gordon fucking Hayward doing this. So when I was in there, it was me and like NYG fan, then like maybe 2 other guys from the NBAB, and that was it. So I had convinced Gordon Hayward to go to the NBAB and make a GameFAQs account, and then start shit talking Steven to like defend Ty Corbin, because Steven was constantly like, "Oh my god, Ty Corbin's the worst coach ever. Why isn't he doing, you know, this, that, and the other thing?" So I wanted Gordon Hayward, of all people, to show up and like prove it was him and just start trolling Steven and defending Ty Corbin. Would have been the greatest shit ever. So like I had him on the website. He's trying to figure out how to make an account, and then here comes Lay Reddit Army have arrived. Then a bunch of morbidly obese neets all start, "Oh my god, we're from Reddit, Gordon." So obviously they spooked him because they're a bunch of fucking retarded fucking autists. So he ended the stream, off he goes. So obviously that never happened. I was like, holy shit, that would have been the best thing that had ever happened to the board. If an actual NBA player shows up, not just an actual NBA player, but a fucking all-star shows up. Just start shit talking, Steve. Yeah, I hate Reddit because of that shit. Because, like, literally all they did was just show up and say, "Lay Reddit Army has arrived," and like a bunch of other stupid ass shit. And it accomplished nothing. It's like you literally just showed up and shit up the place. Like, you didn't even get to interact with them at all. Good job. This is nuts. Because like AIDS is practically like not even a thing anymore. You know, like the treatment's gotten so effective that hardly anybody even discusses HIV anymore, and hardly anybody's catching it. Well, in 2021, 40% of new HIV diagnoses were to African Americans. My God. Well, it's nuts, because it's like, well, what the fuck? Like, we had practically beaten this thing. And that's the funny thing is that, yeah, we pretty much have beaten the thing. So all it's done is just gone back to being what it was back in the 80s in terms of the perception, where people thought it was, oh, only gay people get AIDS or only black people get AIDS. Well, in 2020, in the 2020s, yeah, we're back to that now. Only gays and black people are getting AIDS. Like, this is insane.
Didn't Michael Vick have HIV or something? No, he had like gonorrhea. God, what did Michael Vick have?
I'm sure he had clap at some point in his life. So I'm gonna Google Michael Vick STDs. It was revealed in a 2005 lawsuit filed by a woman that Vick intentionally gave her a sexually transmitted disease. Knowingly gave her something. This was settled out of court, though we don't know what disease it was, but Michael Vick will forever be associated with the Ron Mexico moniker, which the lawsuit said he used while seeking treatment. NFL was even forced to ban shoppers from creating customized Falcons jerseys with the name Mexico on the back in its online store. But yeah, all it ever says is sexually transmitted disease. It doesn't explain what, but the only thing I see consistently popping up is people thinking that it was herpes.
I think that sounds right. But what if the Falcons ever draft a player named Mexico? Is he just never going to sell a single jersey?
Well, yeah, the NFL shops let me do it.
Oh, nice.
I got yeah, Falcons jersey 7 Mexico. It works. It's even a throwback. That's even better. Oh man. I just mindlessly clicked on the first link that popped up. It was a fucking throwback. Dude, it's even better. Oh god.
So, for a couple years, I had a plastic mat underneath my rolling chair because you don't want your rolling chair's wheels to be touching the carpet. And a couple days ago, I got a glass one and it feels so much better.
Nice.
Mexico 7 works, yeah. you can get a custom Lakers jersey with the bronze number that says Quinn James.
You gotta be fucking kidding me. Even with a certificate of authenticity, holy shit. You get a fucking signed O.J. Simpson jersey for $200.
You must really need the money.
Wow. I would have thought that they'd have cost more. Fucking exactly. They fan fiction.
Tell me a story about LeBron James being a bottom in gay form of Shaquille O'Neal.
God, I could not believe that shit went through. Grok is the GOAT.
Yeah, I have noticed that, JS. I wonder if I should get Grok to give me ideas for, like, videos. I wonder if Grok could help me grow my channel somehow. No Ego, welcome to the channel. Thank you for the follow. Welcome aboard. Well, that's kind of one of the modern day memes, right, JS? Everybody has a podcast.
Well, I just asked ChatGPT, and you're already doing all of these things. Although I suppose you could work on one of them. Because the ChatGPT says you should try to create quality content. You could you work on improving. No, but seriously, it says quality content creation is the first one, which is like, duh, obviously. You know, have to make good videos. And SEO optimization, use relevant keywords and video titles, descriptions, and tags to improve searchability and ranking on YouTube search engine. Engage with your audience. So, you know, call people retarded more when they leave retarded comments on your video. Will help to, it says it will lead to increased engagement and loyalty. You know, collaborations you're already doing, promote across platforms you're already doing, create eye-catching thumbnails, so you know, more soy jacks. Consistent branding.
Seahawks players with giant asses.
Yes, actually. Oh man. But yeah, the whole thing is like, oh, well, just make good videos and try to abuse people's retardedness. You know, which you're doing, like you said. You know, as your Instagram stuff been doing numbers because it's benefiting off the TikTok generation and people's short attention span.
Yeah, I never listened to the Russell Wilson podcast. I can't imagine I missed out on all that much. I mean, he still does, JS. The pretzels these people twist themselves into. I have another short scheduled to go live tomorrow at 11 a.m. The world is not yet ready for this level of genius, but I'm going to give it to him. The key is to make shorts that are not time sensitive, that will be as relevant in 3 years as they are today. If you do that, you're in good shape. The problem was I was making shorts that were time sensitive, like, oh, hey, this just happened, breaking news, the Seahawks did this, breaking news, the Seahawks did that, and that's not the right way to go about it with shorts. Like, there are people on social media, and some of them are, as near as I can tell anyway, Broncos fans, or at least they pretend to be, who swear up and down that Sean Payton was trying to lose this season, and Russ was somehow able to overcome his head coach throwing games to win a bunch. Like, they really believe this stuff. It must be exhausting. And I love conspiracy theory stuff, man, but it must be exhausting to wear this kind of a tin hat over stuff that is obviously not true. You know, I'll say this for Russ. He did one hell of a job getting Broncos fans to not completely despise him. Like, you would think that given everything that happened, 99% of Broncos fans would want him dead. But a lot of them are just like, you know, good luck wherever you go, Russ. Sorry it didn't work out. It was occasionally pretty fun. Like, I'm not seeing vitriol coming off these people. It's just kind of like, oh, that's too bad it didn't work out. Completely ruined my team for 4 seasons. But I'm not mad. Like, if I was in that spot, I'd be pretty mad. I would not just be cool with
if
that.
I was... I completely agree with you. If I was a Broncos fan, I would want literally everyone in the front office who's affiliated with the trade in any way be fucking fired out of a cannon. And I would want Russ himself to just go fuck himself.
Like, at least with Jamal Adams, it was mostly injuries when he wasn't an injury-prone player beforehand. So it's like, I'm not that mad at Jamal. It's not really his fault that his body completely fell apart, but... I think that's a little different. Russ didn't get a bunch of injuries. He just started sucking a fat one.
Exactly, you know? Anytime he put up numbers, because Broncos fans kept talking, well, I shouldn't say Broncos fans as much as Russ Slurpers, they kept talking about how good his numbers were. And it's all like, they don't mean shit if you're not winning games.
Your offense,
if you don't make the playoffs,
they had like the 16th ranked offense, which is dead bang on average.
Right. So it's like, okay, so you're not scoring points, who cares how many yards you're getting? You're not winning games, who cares about your stats? Make the fucking playoffs. Make the playoffs and win games. Like...
Or lead like a top 5 offense, and if we don't miss the playoffs, okay, we'll blame other people.
Right, you know? Like, Miami. Top 5 offense, clinch the playoffs. If we win this upcoming game, then we win our division. So, regardless of how we end up doing in the playoffs, there's a really good chance it's not Tua's fault. It's like the homie's doing fine.
Remember?
But if...
No, go ahead. Finish your thought first.
I was gonna say, if Tyreek had been blowing the fucking doors off of what a receiver's ever done before, but we weren't winning games, it wouldn't matter. And a lot of people would be looking at Tua like, this is probably your fault. You know, if we miss the playoffs this year, AFC is highly competitive, especially for that wild card spot. But all anyone would do is blame Tua. So how is it no one blames Russ when the Broncos are in the exact same situation? Because you can't blame the defense. After the 70 burger to Miami, they completely transformed that defense.
Yeah, they've been okay.
But the offense is right, but the offense is still the same, and that's why they lose. So how is it not Russ getting any criticism here? You know? And that's the shit that never makes any sense to me. And is why I brought up Miami. Because, you know, as a Dolphins fan, I'm all like, anytime something doesn't go our way, Tua gets the blame. But I see all these other teams where they just completely fucking fall apart. And for whatever reason, nobody goes after their quarterback. You know, Broncos fans caping up for Russ, and people who are not Broncos fans caping up for Russ. The same way that you see the Chargers sucking shit and, like, no one wants to say a damn negative thing about Justin Herbert. But it's like, you know, maybe if he didn't lead the league in fourth quarter interceptions, they might have won a few of these games that they didn't. You never know. It's a completely valid criticism.
Remember that one year the Chargers had the #1 offense and #1 defense and missed the playoffs?
Yeah, that was... My dad was not happy that year.
Seems like it shouldn't be possible.
It shouldn't? How's it even possible? Right, JS, and not only that, but I think we can all agree, because we've really seen it happen a lot in the last couple of years, how truly racist a lot of sports media talking heads are, because of the extent to which they cape up for black people, regardless of the sport. They never want to say anything negative about black athletes at all. But they need to get that vitriol out somewhere. So, like, you start a big shit show if you try to criticize white players in any sport, and there's a huge argument and all this kind of crap. But for whatever reason, criticizing Asian or Pacific Islanders in professional sports is just completely valid and okay. Like, let's imagine for a second that Troy Polamalu wasn't one of the best safeties ever. Let's just think that he was just, like, average. That dude would have gotten roasted constantly anytime the Steelers lost. Weird that you see, like, better situations where people still get roasted super hard than the Broncos, and especially Russ. And you're like, what the fuck does this guy got to do in order to actually get people to shit on him?
Like, people were throwing a fit that the Broncos went up to him and were like, you waive your injury guarantees or we're going to bench you. I mean, would they... I mean, that is kind of scummy, but at the same time, what if they went up to him and were just like, we're going to bench you. End of discussion. You're going to get benched. Like, that's all there is to it. Like, isn't it better they gave him a way to not get benched? Isn't it better that they at least gave him an opportunity to do something to prevent that? I don't know why, because everyone was like, oh, they're not honoring the contract that they agreed to when they signed him. It's like, well...
Yeah, because a player's never done that before.
Yeah, it's like, players can... It's like, you know, they'd be honoring the contract fine if they just went right up to him and benched him. At least this way they gave him a chance and he decided, no, I don't want to do that, which, I mean, he's correct to not do it.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah, I mean, shit.
It's better that he gets the
like,
choice.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I just Googled Sean Payton right now, and literally all the top stories about Sean Payton are, did Sean Payton sabotage Russell Wilson, or some variation of that? And it's sitting here like, he gave him the fucking chance. Like, yeah, obviously a new coach is probably going to want his guy, but, like, let's just imagine for a second that Russ balled the fuck out this season and was an MVP candidate. On what planet does Sean Payton want to then bench him? Like,
if he was actually playing as well as some people think he's playing, there would be no problem.
Exactly. So then you get this shit, well, Sean Payton sabotaged them. Dude, what the fuck? Just play better. Like,
yeah, if he was actually playing at a really high level, the team would have no problem honoring his contract, paying him his money, dealing with guarantees, dealing with injury guarantees. They'd be like, well, okay, it's a big contract, but we have an elite quarterback, so we're okay with it.
right. Right, I mean, the Broncos have more offensive weapons than the Chiefs do right now.
Chiefs have negative offensive weapons.
Exactly. So, like, if Russ was a Mahomes caliber player, would the Broncos have a record as good as the Chiefs do right now? An AI-generated image of Hillary strangling Epstein.
The internet remains undefeated.
Oh my god.
I need one more tree branch. Dunsey would probably be better than Rasheed Rice. Like, Dunsey might go in the top 10, honestly. And, you know, less than a year from now, he's going to be in the NFL, probably as one of the better rookies. So, yeah, absolutely, Dunsey's going to be better than Tony. Right. Me net is crafted. Me roast is bugged.
Reckon I could get some Hungry Jacks and try to fool this cat.
You absolute sick cunt, Seamal.
I like this tweet. Some mornings I sit at work staring idly at a wall or at my shoes and just miss smoking cigarettes. Reminds me of that episode of King of the Hill where Dale says the reason he smokes is because he never knows what to do with his hands.
Yeah, so I went to the dentist today to get my, you know, extracted tooth area looked at, and it's healing really good. So sometime
Nice.
very soon here, I'm going to get an impression done, and then I'll be able to get the new crown in. And this awful chapter in my life will be over.
Hooray.
Hopefully
Nice.
I'll be able to get off the ibuprofen soon. Hopefully I haven't become addicted to ibuprofen, sucking it down for the past couple months. At least it's not Valium or something. Oh, wait a minute. I wanted to talk to her. Hey, let's talk to Dog Lady.
How about that?
Okay.
ISIS, trending on Twitter. So I click on one to see why. Apparently ISIS claims responsibility for bomb attack in Iran. Wouldn't you know it, when Trump's not in office, and a guy who was part of the same corrupt regime has been in there for decades is in office, and there's a proxy war in the Middle East, goes up to their old shenanigans, all of a sudden ISIS comes back. Who'd have thunk?
Oh my god. Oh no. I feel like fucking Gohan in that calm down, don't do it clip right now.
No, stop. Just calm down. Don't do it.
So this game lets you design a custom flag for your island.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
I mean, I can't do it, obviously, right?
Uh-oh.
I mean, people might see that. Yeah, I feel like fucking. Is it Gohan in that clip?
Yes.
Okay.
You know, you could just tell people that you were showing your support for West Virginia's newest recruited talent.
I was thinking more Happy Windmill.
Yeah, I know.
Windmill of Friendship, but it's a little on the nose, admittedly.
Absolutely. Acceptable as long as you stay 200 Hava Nagilas. Go and sin no more, my son.
Now, I have my questions about Penix too, mostly the injury history. Like, I think the injury history is, I think that's really tough to get around, his injury history. Like, that's brutal. He literally, tore his ACL twice and had 2 other season-ending injuries already, and he hasn't even played in the NFL yet. Like, that's really hard to ignore. And, you know, Big Country, that's actually kind of depressing because he was only here for 2 years. Shows that our program is a little bit light on the historically great guys in a way. No! Fucking spider! God, I had it. Yeah, I noticed that too, David. It's kind of like Gino. Gino does the same thing. He's barely scrambled this year. And then when he does, it's like, why doesn't he do this all the time?
Oh, shit. Oh. Vivek roasting Nikki on Twitter. There's Nikki's tweet responding to the locomotive incident. Was we have to deal with the cancer that is mental health. Which is you know what she's going for, but she really fucking swung and missed on that one.
Yeah.
Vivek's like, I think she might have actually written this tweet herself. Oh, fuck, that's good.
You need some stank on your hang low.
Based.
Let's see here.
A lot of people coming out saying they were trying to blow the whistle on Stephen Hawking for years.
I imagine people would not listen to you if you tried to say something like that.
Exactly. Now's the time to get it going. We're gonna hear some really fucked up shit about that guy in the coming days, I think. Lovely bit of gun lore. During World War II, the United States sent one single M1 Garand rifle to the Soviet Union for their government to inspect, and if they liked it, they'd order more through the Lend-Lease. They loved the rifle, they loved its design, but they considered it too complicated for the average Red Army soldier, so they said, we're not going to adopt this, though. But they continued doing tests with it and looking at it and everything. So a couple years later, Mikhail Kalashnikov loved the gas piston system so much that he copied it, put it in the AK-47. So in a way, that one single M1 Garand rifle is perhaps the most famous M1 Garand in the history of the planet. I hope it's in a museum somewhere.
Belongs in a museum,
But,
so do we.
It's really fucking funny to think about it being complicated, though. Like,
So I saw somebody earlier today on X point out that Penix has played Michigan before a few years ago when he was at Indiana, and he actually whooped them. Of course, it was not a very good Michigan team, I guess. They started that season like 1-2. Indiana whooped them. I think they corrected the ship a little bit after that, but I did not know Penix had played Michigan before. Shit. Another spider. Okay. Yes, I got him. God, even in a fucking game like Oh, okay. He's already got it. I think that's my second tarantula, so I should keep it at home for my own personal collection. Alright, guys. Thanks for hanging out. I think that's going to do it for tonight, though. We made good progress. I'll see you guys in the morning. Videos coming out. You guys know the drill.